Bro, check kind of weird champ. That's not corn. Hi, Arch. Hello, everyone. We started right in the medium time, which is good because I was looking at shiny cardboard for a while, and I also had to make a trip to the bank because I was carrying more cash than I was comfortable with. So I got to go put that in my savings account after stream, and I owe my brother a good chunk of money because he also gave me cards to sell. So, hello. I've said hello in chat, but let me say it again. We got William, Gygus, Pearl, Lily, Ty, Arch. Am I missing anyone? Dollar bills. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I walked away from that card shop with close to $1,000 in cash. I bought some really expensive pieces of cardboard and still have over 100 in store credit. And I haven't gone through everything yet. And I literally told them, oh, the binder, you can keep that. I don't need it anymore if you're going to buy everything out of it. So I think I found my go-to place to sell Pokemon cards, because, whoo! Stonks. Mad stonks. That is going right into savings. Oh, I don't care about the binder. That binder was old and falling apart as it is. But yeah. Yeah. Let's get... I'm going to give a few minutes to get settled in, since I did put this promo in 2 other communities. And we're just going to vibe for a little bit. And today is going to be more focused on your questions than the last one. The PowerPoint is 13 slides. The last one was 35. This one is 13. Last one is 35. And we got through that in about 2.5 hours. So I really want to focus this on your questions. And I imagine this stream is going to be a lot more focused on questions you guys have than before. So the reason I'm saying that is because our last stream that we did on Valentine's Day was really focused around... well, let me put it this way. I felt like I was preaching to the choir. Because chances are there's maybe a 9 out of 10 chance that if you were at that stream... And, I know you guys pretty well at this point, that, that a lot of that stuff didn't really pertain to you. And I think there's a lot of especially younger members of the community that would have benefited. So I think, while parasocial relationships are important to understand, I think it's important that we make these topics relatable to all of us as we can. So that's why I was like, let's get FOMO out of the way. And if this goes well, then expect more of these discussion... half lecture, half discussion, like a college course type of stuff in the future, because I think that's going to work out. Hi, Zubaz. Good to see you. I know your community likes to show up for these. Welcome. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started, because my throat is not going to thank me if I don't start sooner. Luckily, I have water. So, who here does not know what FOMO stands for? Let me ask that first. Who does not know what FOMO stands for? I'll give it a bit. Anybody? Okay, well that's fine because I'm about to explain it anyway. Let's make sure that this works. It does! Okay. So for literally anybody who doesn't know, it's just the fear of missing out. Fear of missing out. FOMO. Which the traditional definition is anxiety of thinking others are having fun without you. And that comes from a desire to stay connected to what everyone else is doing. So this image of Squidward looking at Patrick and SpongeBob outside is literally the perfect FOMO image. I saw this and I was like, oh my god, it's literally perfect. This image is FOMO in a nutshell. So basically, other things to understand is that anxiety is fear of something you're uncertain of. So when you say I'm afraid of something, like if I say I'm afraid of bears, it's because bears are real and they can hurt me. You know what I mean? So if bears are real and they can hurt me, I know, like, let's say there's a bear outside and I say, there's a bear outside, I'm afraid of it because I know it's going to try to bust in through my room and it could hurt me. Where anxiety is more like, I think there could be a bear, I'm not really sure. It feels like there could be. But there, you know, you never know. That's what anxiety is. Any questions so far? Does that make sense so far, guys? We are quiet today. That's fine. This will. The reason we do a PowerPoint is just in case people do use this as a lurking stream, which is fine. But I'm going to give lots and lots of space in between, just to account for everything. What do we think? We are listening. You never know. So far, so good. Okay. This is the easy concept so far. Okay, so now I know 90% of the questions I'm pretty sure came from William, but we're going to pretend like they didn't. So the question we got is, why do people experience FOMO? Well, it's pretty simple. It's a form of social anxiety, where basically it comes from a what-if feeling, and we talked a little bit about that. So it's a what-if feeling of what are people doing without us. So the thing is, people have always experienced FOMO. So let's look at a timeline, okay? So let's say in the 1980s, or maybe the early 90s even, you know, like someone was throwing a party. You know, it's like your typical 80s movie, some kid is throwing a house party, but you can't because you have work, you have homework. You would be missing that party and you might be thinking about it, but you really wouldn't know. It's kind of like an out of sight, out of mind experience. Where, like, you don't really know what happens at that party unless somebody, like, took a bunch of pictures on a Polaroid or something, shared them around. You know, people are talking about it all the time. You're like, wow, I really missed out. But, you know, like, there was no direct way to see it. Social media comes around in the early 2000s, early mid-2000s, around 2005. Social media really starts marking the end of the 90s era into the 2000s and 2010s. Now, all of a sudden, we have easy access to pictures from parties or other events or seeing what other people are doing. You know, and there's like this constant need to feel connected, which we never really had before, but social media just kind of made us feel like we needed to because we had access to that information. So FOMO was always around, but we never really noticed it nearly as bad until the mid-2000s. So the other thing we need to understand is that FOMO can be described as either a feeling of jealousy or envy. Now, this is a topic I'm really passionate about because lots of people get those two words confused. And I think jealousy is so specific that I think we need to understand the difference. Now, that's going to be answered. Do we have any questions for this slide? Or any comment? Yeah, if you guys have a thought, I want to hear it. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of opinions on this kind of stuff, so I would love to hear any opinions you have. So I'll give that a minute. No, so far so good. Well, this is going to be a real short stream. Alright, let's give it a minute. I'll vibe to the music otherwise. This stream is also part of Rigging Waiting Room. So, once again, while we wait... Is this a new playlist? Yes, it is. She just published it like a day or two ago. That's why I'm using it. I think the No Thoughts Head Empty really serves to lighten up the mood of the mental health stuff, because some of this... And there's a question later on that hits really, really hard. Like, really hard. So I think it's good to, like, kind of just prepare that. So that's why we just do, like, comfy lo-fi, comfy Nintendo music. It makes sense. not very relatable to you. That's interesting, Zubaz. That's really interesting. So we're going to talk about that in a sec. Oh my god, did my VC face pause? No, it didn't. We're good. Okay. Alright, next slide. So now here's something to understand. Envy versus jealousy. Our common misconception is that people get these two confused. And the deal is, they're two completely different things. So, envy is as simple as, this person has this, I want it too. It's very basic at its core. It's very, 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 very basic at its core. So, for example, if we're going to that house party thing from the 80s that we talked about versus the 2000s, envy is, this person's at that party. Gee, I sure wish I was over there. That's it. That's it at its core. Jealousy adds several layers on top of that, which is, this person has X, but because I don't have it, I'm afraid of losing it. The question isn't this, what are you losing? So an example I have is that you're at a party, and a bunch of your friends are at the party, a lot of potential friends are at the party. Your friends are over there, mingling with other people, having other people. So jealousy is, these guys are experiencing X. I'm not there. I'm not experiencing this party. I am afraid of losing my friends because they're going to find other friends. So jealousy comes from an insecurity. And that's okay, because without jealousy, you know, we wouldn't hold on to the things we cared about. So I'm going to let this one sit, because this one's really, really important. And I think this is a distinction that we need to understand, because okay, how do I put this? I'm of the opinion that because jealousy is so specific, it's really, really important that, you know, hi Baptu, welcome. Good to see you. Jealousy is just so important to understand because it's so specific. And I think that if we understand how jealousy works, we can fight it better. And we can deal with it better. Okay, fighting it isn't a good word. Maybe just like come to terms with it or become at peace with it. That's probably a better way to put it. So that's why here I say that FOMO's closer to jealousy because, you know, we're afraid of losing something. Because if it's just something like, gee, I sure wish I was at that party, that's fine. You know, that's pretty normal. It's like, wow, I wish we had that. Now, so this is veering a little bit from the topic. So we'll discuss what that means in just a minute. Well, how are we feeling, guys? How are we doing so far? Pretty easy concept to grasp, right? Now we know the difference. What are we thinking? Easy concept, but God, jealousy is confusing. Okay. This is perfect. Ty, tell me, what is confusing so far? Because I want to clear it up before we proceed. This is definitely something we can clear up before we proceed. Because yes, I agree, it can be confusing. I would love to know what's confusing so I can help you with it. Let me think of how you put it. Okay, yeah, no problem. I label this as AMA, too. Oh, yeah. Water hits good when your throat is dry. And I drank a whole lot of coffee with French toast this morning. Okay, here we go. With the party example, you said the fact that you're not there can be put as jealousy or envy, but the difference being that you think that you're going to lose your friends versus the sole reason of you not being there. Yeah. Okay. I'm following. Am I missing something? That's like that's an extra layer. Like you feel like the other thing you could be losing, the basic way, and maybe I gave too specific an example. The basic way would be like you feel like you're just missing that time with your friends. That's what you're missing out on. That's what you're losing. And the thing is, like, so why is that the place your mind can go to? Again, it just stems from generic insecurity. It stems from insecurity. It stems from, maybe it's happened to you in the past, so logically you feel like it could happen again. It stems from, you just feel, it just feels that way because you're losing out on something that you normally feel constantly connected to. That's where it comes from. Hopefully, I think that would make sense. Okay, actually, here's what we're going to do, Ty. We're going to move on to the next slide because I think we can keep explaining it. Okay. Another great question we had is, what is the difference between FOMO and jealousy? Which I think is a great question. You can be jealous because of FOMO, but FOMO doesn't always mean that you're jealous. Like you can have FOMO without jealousy. And jealousy, I think, always incorporates a little bit of FOMO. Yeah, man. Oh, Mac, perfect. I knew you'd like this slide. I was trying to think of what to use here. So, jealousy and anxiety don't always go hand in hand, but they can go hand in hand. Does that make sense? I made this slide at like 3 in the morning on Friday night. I was really happy with all the slides we did. So, for example, in the game Fire Emblem 7, Elwood thinks he's missing out on an A-rank support with either Hector or Lyn. And he thinks because they're hanging out on the other side of the map from him, he's missing out on a potential A-rank support ending, which means he gets a nice little cutscene and story slide at the end of the game. So his jealousy saying, because they're with each other and not with me, I'm going to miss out on the chance at an A-rank support with them. Because, you can only have one A-rank support in some games. But let's say that maybe you could have that A-rank support where they're next to each other and getting a lot of boost. Okay, good. I'm glad this example is hitting. So, he's worried that because they're not I'm missing out on that time with them, I'm not going to get that A-rank support with them. Like, look at them, they're building up their support. I'm not going to have the stats to fight the dragon at the end of the game. What's going on? But they are, and I'm going to miss out on that sweet, sweet MVP experience. So, he could have FOMO, but he could also just not be jealous. He could have that fear of missing out on that A-rank support, but it doesn't necessarily mean he has to be jealous of Hector or Lyn over here. He could just kind of be like, well, I'm going to miss out on that, but I'm not afraid of losing them. I'm just going to miss out on A-rank support for me, and I'm going to miss out on that fun time. So the difference here is that FOMO is afraid of missing out on a specific time you have. You're missing out on the encounter. Jealousy is like fear of losing that encounter or friendship or other things. So jealousy is like an extra layer. But I do think there is some similarities, which we're going to get to later on. Okay? How do we feel? Oh, by the way, I promise every sad character we have is going to be happy by the end of the slideshow. Because we can't leave our boy hanging. Look at him. We can't leave our boy hanging like this. We'll get there. Any questions? Why are people happy? We need the good end. He'll get his A-rank support. And maybe he'll get it with Ninian instead of Lyn or Hector. Okay, if there's nothing else in a minute, I'll move to the next one. Then we get Roy. Oh yeah, you get the epic Vic Roy. Would Elwood feel better if Lynn and Hector did not get a rank? Ooh. Ooh. Okay, let me think about that, Arch. That's a good question. Oh my god, that's a real good one. That depends. So basically what you're saying is that there's a potential that Elle would be like, well, if I can't have an A rank, I would feel better if nobody got it. Which sucks. Because then nobody wins. Nobody wins if that happens. So, this goes into a whole... that depends on how jealous he is. You know, some people are like, well, if I can't have it, I would feel better if nobody could have it. Because that's just how it is sometimes. So, I think that's a really, really good question. I don't know if he would feel better. If he's jealous, then I would imagine maybe... And I guess jealousy isn't even the word. I guess spiteful would be a better word. If they... with FOMO, I don't think it matters if they got A rank support or not. Because all he is he's missing out on time with them. He's missing out on that chance to get that A rank with them. But there's always another time, you know, in Fire Emblem you can just keep grinding supports. He's just missing out on this one opportunity. But he feels sad because he's missing out on that opportunity. Because he's got to go grind his sword level on the other side of the map before he can catch up with them. If he's jealous, then I think it's more likely that he would feel better if they did not get the A rank. Because he's like, okay, well, I had nothing to be jealous of. They didn't get what I was afraid of losing. So another good example, and here we're getting close to that hard-hitting question towards the end of the slide with this one, is that let's say there's a job opportunity that you and your friends are applying for, and it's a limited slot, or it's like, or maybe it's not a limited slot, but it's like, you know, there's only so many slots. If you get there, if your friend gets that ahead of you, you can be jealous because, well, they took a slot that I could have potentially had. I'm jealous of them because I lost that potential slot. I wish I had it, and I lost it. Now, it's a bit different in social encounters, because that's something that's very objectively measurable. You can't objectively measure fun times or friends. I don't think you can do that. You know, because social encounters is just so complex that I don't think it's fair to measure. The job example is more specific, but it's a little more removed from the situation. Which is why I really want this to be a very open-ended discussion, because there's a lot to explore here. And a lot of people might have different encounters with different social situations. So, okay, here's a better example. If I stream and somebody can't make it, they could have fear of missing out. Like, I missed Ark's stream. I have fear of missing, like, I am missing out on a really cool stream, potentially. And that fear of missing out is probably going to eat away at them for a little bit. Because, like, what if I miss something important? What if I missed that time that he's streaming? Now, I'm going to go into an open discussion that's probably off the slides in a little bit about that in streaming culture and VTuber culture. You relate to that example. Dude, me too. I definitely relate to that example. And we will get there in a second. Because this definitely relates to VTuber culture. This relates to just general social culture. It relates to Twitch culture, maybe YouTuber culture. Because people say, watch the VOD. And, you know, I really respect people who watch the VOD so they can catch up on the content and stuff. And, well, it's funny, because actually, let me think about that a bit more. When you start thinking about missing out on streams and stuff, then we get into the territory of parasocial relationships, which we talked about 3 weeks ago. Right? Right? Now you guys are starting to see the connection and why I thought of these two things at the same time, huh? There it is, dude. Okay, but we'll get to that topic later. That could be a whole slideshow by itself. All right, let's see what we got next. Okay, so a really good question. I've been watching your stream for 20 minutes. What do you mean you're not married? Exactly. At 3 million points, you can you have an opportunity to put a ring on my finger, and maybe I'll say yes. You miss out by not attending my stream. Therefore, you have fear of missing out on all of my points. And then you miss the chance to maybe have a shot at marrying me. You know what's weird? That there's some people who actually think like that. Oh, whoa, you have a chance. What's this? Notices your wedding ring. Fear of missing out of marriage. Yeah, so there's legit people who think like, oh, I'm missing out an opportunity with the streamer. I'm missing a chance. Which makes me feel like they're grinding relationship points in real life, which... Whoops. Hold on, that didn't work. Hold on. Let me tell you. Which, It doesn't work, guys. You can't grind A-rank support in real life. There is no support system in real life. But I don't need to tell you guys that now, do I? Now, okay. Now I'm coming back from under my blanket. There we go. Bro, just give me a cookie every day, and clearly I'll want to marry you. Duh. That's clearly how I work. You want to marry me? Just give me a cookie every day, and all of a sudden, like, well, shit, I got a chocolate chip cookie every month for every day at 5 p.m. Audience member gave me a cookie. Now I want to be the father of their children. Clearly, do you see the problem? I'm sure. Okay, here's the thing. Again, God, conditioning story. Now, again, I don't think I need to tell you guys why that's weird, champ. At least. No. I was like, who's in the audience? Yep, nope, you guys are good. Now, if something does resonate with you, or maybe you're on the receiving end, then maybe you'll understand, like, yes, why can't people understand this? Which is what I'd like to do. So hopefully I'm going to remember to save the VOD of this video and put it on my primary YouTube channel. And at the end of this, we're going to talk about a Dr. K video I watched. I don't know if we're allowed to watch those videos on stream, but I would if we can, I would love to. Yeah, hi YouTube. I would love to watch that Dr. K video and do a React Andy to it. But I'm not sure if I can do that with another streamer's content. So, yeah, I have 2 weeks to remember. I didn't download the last VOD. Oopsie. Okay. We'll discuss that at the end of stream, though. Okay, good question. Have there been any studies about FOMO? Yes, there have been plenty of studies about FOMO. So, I'm putting all my sources right here. So this was a UK study. And basically it determined that social media use, the more you use social media, the more FOMO you experienced, and you also experienced lower self-esteem and feeling vulnerable. Yeah, UK moment. Lots of these studies were UK, actually. UK university. Now, there's a couple things we have to consider here, that these were specifically university students. Now, critical thinking moment. What do university students all have in common? If you can answer this, you'll see why this probably isn't the best example. Debt? That's true. Well, I don't know about UK, but that's probably true. Sadness. What do they all have to do? What do all universities... Why do you go to university? Yeah, okay, there you go. Work. Every single university student has studies to do. So if you're studying, then you're going to be missing out on stuff. Which brings me to this slide. So this study, I don't think this was UK, but, well, yeah, it was. It was done at a university, so it's the same concept. So basically, this study says that all college students, or it suggested, I should say, you can't prove anything with social science, it suggested that all college students regularly experience FOMO, which should probably come to no surprise. I started having a lot of FOMO in college. And so it's suggested that when FOMO regularly occurs, when students were more likely to experience FOMO. Okay, well that's redundant. Oops. Basically, if you're working or have another obligation, you have FOMO. Go figure. Hey, Ark, there's a party Saturday night. Sorry I can't go, I have homework to do. But goddamn do I wish I could go so I don't miss out on all the cool party stuff. Do you guys see where this is going? Now, the study didn't... What's funny is that works the other way. Ooh, no! Shadow, no, tell me. Why does it work the other way? You have FOMO for school. I think you're correct. Well, of course you're right, because you're the one feeling it. So you feel like you missed out on high school. You missed out on all those social high school and beyond experiments. Yup. Does not surprise me. Yeah, so you can... So it depends on your perspective. Oh, Ty, I didn't know you didn't finish high school. I knew about college, but yeah. Yeah, so it all entirely depends on your perspective. Like, I've talked to people who are like, well, gee, I wish I went to grad school like Ark did. And part of me is like, well, a lot of people who went to grad school had a lot of other fun. But I'm at a point where I'm so far removed from that, it's just like, who cares? Oh, you probably got GED. Nothing wrong with that. GEDs are fine. They still get you what you need. So, there is... Excuse me. There's nothing in the study that says this, but basically, we can apply the principles in this study to suggest that maybe, just maybe, we can apply this to work, family obligations, other stuff. Like, if you're constantly working, if you're constantly balancing family obligations, then yeah, it's going to be a problem, right? That's my logic. Also, if I look away real quick, it's because I potentially see a Discord ping, and every time I see the number 1 in my Discord box, it's, oh my god, maybe rigging's done. It's not. That guy's getting a DM by Wednesday. Next slide. Any questions about this? I think Shadow made a really, really good point. That you can experience FOMO from any perspective. So, for example, okay, so let's say there's a streamer. You have a stream on Sunday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And you're like me, and 2 of the friends who you went to the card shop with were like, we're going to go to the bar and play children's card games at the bar. Now, let's say I didn't care about COVID. Because I was like, that sounds like a lot of fun. Also, that sounds like I could contract COVID very easily at an indoor bar. So we're not doing it. So, am I missing out? I'm missing out on playing games with my friends. But is it worth contracting COVID? No. So therefore, my FOMO, I was able to rationalize through FOMO and say, FOMO, oh my god, I'm missing out on COVID. How awful. All my friends have COVID but me. I also like death. No, you could have FOMO from that situation, though, Shadow. Because be like, oh man, you get to stay home, you get to just recover all day? Gee, I wish that were me. No. But I don't want to go too far in that direction. But yeah, I was able to rationalize through that very easily, being like, well, I have stream, I don't want to miss out on that. So I have an obligation. And 2, it sounds like what you guys are doing is very risky, so I'm not going to do it. So I don't really care that I'm missing out. Okay. Any questions about this slide, guys? We are moving at a breakneck pace. We're doing great. And yes, there will be questions later on. I like this music, so I'm just vibing to it. Oh yeah. What's poppin'? Okay, let's keep going. Answer her question. What the hell? Answer her question. You see Best Girl? Do you see Best Girl here? Fight me. Shadow's gonna fight me. She's asking you, have you experienced FOMO? I'm pretty sure everyone in chat has. So let's talk about it. Everyone has experienced FOMO. We live in 2021 and we're all addicted to technology. So let's hear some stories. I can also give you guys some of my stories too. So chat, you tell me. Do you guys want to type your stories and I'll respond to them, or do you want to hear mine? I have some real life examples. I have some internet examples. I'll do whatever you want. Why not both? Okay. Pearl just says yes. Okay. So while you guys are typing, how about this? My example, and this is my big example, is, and this goes back to the parasocial relationships, is, when I was 20 years old, my college wind ensemble did a China trip. And I had a big crush on this girl. Was there a chance? At the time I thought so, but in reality, no, there wasn't. I was delusional. So basically what happened was is that I felt almost like the strong obligation to hang out with her and her group because I'm missing out on a social opportunity with her. Oh, I don't know if I'd call it love. I wouldn't call... No, it was a powerful crush that blinded me. And let me tell you, when I figured out what that feeling was making me do, and I broke out of it, I felt amazing. I felt free. It was awesome. And we'll go into that. We'll go into that feeling at the end. Infatuation. Oh, I guess that's a good word. Yeah, that's a great word for it. So yeah. So I spent a lot of time just like pining after her, and eventually one night my friend was like, "Hey, we're gonna go explore Shanghai with our friend's friend who knows his way around the city," and I said, "Fuck it, I'm going." I said, I don't care about what this girl's gonna do. I don't care about what's gonna go on. It took me like 10 days in China to say, fuck it, let's do it. That was the best night I had, by far. Like, not even a contest. Was I missing out? Did I have FOMO? Yes. Yes, I did. Did it matter in the long run? Did it matter the day after? Yeah. Did it matter in a week? Probably. Did it matter a few months later? Hell no. Bros over... Oh, God. It was funny because there was another young woman in that group. I say young woman, she was 20, 21, who I had a crush on her the year before that. But I didn't really feel any type of way. It was just they were just my band friends. And that Shanghai trip was great. I had such a good time on the subway. I saw a bunch of Chinese dudes dressed up in latex and leather, and I was like, oh man, is this a boy band? You know, I had so many questions about the city. I had so many questions about music programs in China. We got really good food for like a fraction of the price you'd get in the United States. It was great. That's what I had been missing out on, hanging out with this girl who we're just going to call E. Her name is E. So, and I just made me realize, like, no matter what you do, you have a choice to make. It's about what you value. And if you lock yourself into one choice, you're going to be missing out. Okay, so that's my first story. I'll probably tell some more later. Let me read William's. The only reason I joined jazz band was because a lot of my friends joined, and I knew there would be trips. Okay, yeah, band trips are huge. And even though I wasn't particularly interested in the jazz band, I didn't want to miss out on funny bus trips. God, bus trips? God, that's like the whole reason you do band in high school. Because the bus trips. I didn't want to miss out on funny bus trips with my friends, so I joined. Oh yeah, another funny story about bus trips. I have a story about funny bus trips. Again, in high school, was always all about like sitting with like, can I sit close to the girl I like? And then one year I was like, fuck it, I'm going to the back of the bus. This where all like the cool kids are hanging out. And they were, you know, like I was like friends with pretty much everybody in band. And I just talked with like someone I didn't normally talk to. And she just was like talking like hipster music to me the whole time. And I was like, this is cool. Like I never would have experienced this if I didn't branch out. Which makes you think like, once you overcome FOMO, like, interesting things happen. Okay, Gygus has a story. So when I was younger, I didn't really have FOMO until like 6th grade. Sounds about right. Where I missed my best friend's birthday party because of reasons, which afterwards he stopped talking to me effectively. Holy shit. Okay, well, let me finish this. Which made me really paranoid, like, if I miss out on this, will the same thing happen again? So FOMO hit me really hard after that. Ooh! That's a good one, buddy. Guys, that's a great story. Thank you for sharing. Yes. That shit right there is what gives us complexes. And gives us fear of things like that. Like, you never know. If I miss this one event, if I miss this one stream, if I miss this one night of hanging out with my friends, what am I really missing? Am I going to miss inside jokes? Am I going to miss this? But here's the thing. Gygus, can you tell me and can you tell chat why you put best friends in quotes? Hi, Hellcat, welcome. You came at a really good time. This is the middle point for our stream. Or for our presentation, at least. Yeah, Gygus, so tell us why you put best friend in quotes. I think you did that for a reason. I think you did it for a good reason. Tell us about that. I'm loving the stream, guys. This is great. Let's hear it. I'm already going to find another playlist after this one ends. I just realized the Kirby on screen gets bigger and bigger and bigger the more that happens. I haven't really talked to that person in 6 years, but they reached out to me for some reason. But knowing that, we didn't pack since 06. Okay, so basically, I think the reason you put it in quotes was because that person really wasn't a friend. So I think what happens is you can miss out on stuff. And if you guys are friends, then ideally, it should be fine that you miss out on some things. Because you can't realistically expect to be there for somebody 24/7. This person was upset that you, or for whatever reason, you was like, oh, you missed their birthday party, they stopped talking to you. I don't think that's what a good friend would do. So if you have these secure connections in people, then you should be okay to sometimes miss things, and then you can always come back another time. So something I always say is that, some people would ask me to hang out, and I would say no to them a lot because they often would invite me to really big house parties, which make me anxious. And some things go on at these house parties that I don't want to be a part of, like drugs. Um, and yes, there's missing out. Like I said, there's usually a cute girl or two at that party that I like talking to. That I'd be missing out on by not going. But I always say, I said no this time. Don't stop inviting me. I will come to the ones that I can't. And I show up, and that person that invites me is always like, "Oh, thank you. Like, it's so good to see you. Come in. We're gonna have a good time." So I'll just make it when I feel comfortable to. And that's a good, secure friendship. He always says, like, show up if you want. If you can't, that's fine. It's all good. At the time, I just had moved out to the area previous party. He was my only friend until later that year when one of my best friends moved in next door. There you go. So what were you really missing? Uh-oh. VZ face? Okay, we're good, I think. Alrighty. Best friends are your neighbor. Pretty pog. Any other stories? Any other stories before we move on? This is a great opportunity for everyone to share and us talk about it. Maybe there's some FOMO stories going on right now. Now, there will also be a time at the end of the PowerPoint where we'll just talk about current stories as well. So if you want to save it for the end, I am also completely open to that. I'll tell you guys what. I need to refill my water real quick. FOMO is fear of missing out, yes. So I need to refill my water real quick. And I have a story about VTubing that I will address when I'm back. All right, give me like 30 seconds. Okay, I got my water. Luckily, my bathroom. I drink tap water. I'm sorry if that pisses you guys off. I just go to my bathroom and fill up my cup with tap water. I really don't mind. Water is water. As long as it sustains me, I'm okay with it. So, here's a story. And I'm going to be completely vulnerable with this. My FOMO is not having a fancy iron vertex model. Because now I will rationalize how I'm able to defeat this fear. The pattern I notice is that people with iron vertex, and this isn't guaranteed already, there's some people with iron vertex who do not get this level of attention, by the way. It does not guarantee everything. They're noticed by people with more connections in the community. You're more likely to be noticed by people you want to be friends with. Which, parasocial relationship, they're not obligated to be friends with you even if you do have this fancy iron vertex model. But sometimes, you get that inkling that's just like, damn, what would happen if I had one of these? Now, how do we defeat that FOMO? It's pretty simple. You start looking at the facts, which is one, you don't need a fancy model to make the content you want to. You don't need a model made by a specific company to be successful. You don't need a model to have fun with your friends. It's as simple as that. That's just the fact of the matter. You don't need any of that. You look at people, there's plenty of people who were very successful with or without. And it's not even just IV. There's plenty of other things like ours is another rigging thing that's like, wow, that's a good ass model. Or like, I didn't get my model from somebody with like 100,000 or like 20,000, 40,000, 50,000, 100,000 Twitter followers. You know? And I'm sure there's plenty of other people in the community who feel the same way. I've talked to a few of them about this concept. So what do we do? Well, you have to really look outside yourself and be like, that's how you feel, and that's okay. There's a reason that some people, including myself, would feel this way. But you look outside yourself, and it's like there's some people outside that have the IV model that aren't doing as well as you would expect them to, based on the stereotype. So just because you have the fancy model doesn't mean you're automatically going to be doing well. You know, it's about how well you are doing as a person as well. How enjoyable is your content? What's your fan base? For example, Lily and Vivi, before they had their models, were doing fantastic. Then they got it. Cool. What's another good example? There's a couple other people in the community who got fancy IV models and were already doing quite well before that. There's no denying it's a boost and it gets you noticed. However, just because you have a nice model doesn't mean people are going to stay for you. So it's the work you put in. And I'm confident that, you know, I want people to come and be like, my model's going to look nice. It's going to be fun. I can do a lot of cool stuff outside of VTubing with it on YouTube as well. But I want people to come because they like me and they like my content. Not only because I have a cool model, you know? So that's one way to rationalize it. The other way to rationalize it is just like, you know, just acknowledging that I have it and moving past it. So that's me within the VTuber community. Now, I don't think I'm the best spokesperson for that. Simply because, you know, streaming isn't my main thing. I have a full-time job that I really need to put a lot of attention into. Especially, like, later tonight, I need to go set up my work. Why is my model bugging out? Sorry, guys. You know, so that's how I feel. Now, it looks like Ty typed something interesting, so let me read this real quick. That's cool. My VC face tracked me sipping water. I don't know if this is entirely FOMO, though it kind of feels like it is. I've always had this thing where I feel like I'm a bother no matter what people say, and then apologize too much. People, when I'm told differently. That's okay, Blaster. Thank you for being here when you can. I feel like I'm a bother. People who I care about will stop talking to me because they think I'm annoying, and even though I've been told I'm not bothering people, I can't still help feeling like that. So I think that's not directly FOMO, but I think it definitely fosters a sense of FOMO. You know, because I used to think similarly. I definitely gained a good chunk of confidence since, but it took a lot of work. It took a lot of just identifying my feelings and being like, I have no reason to think this way. You know, I definitely think it fosters it. So, yeah. Let me think about that for a second. Let me pull Dr. K and say, can I think about that for a second? I think if I may be, since you I'm gonna make a presumption and say it's okay to talk about this, Ty, and literally everyone else in chat who feels this way, because the first thing this is confidence. And okay, there we go. So I have permission. Cool. So I'm gonna pick this apart a little bit. First issue is confidence. I'm not gonna ridicule you. That's not what this is about. Common with people with social anxiety and issues with insecurity. Absolutely. Absolutely, because I'm like this sometimes too. What the hell is this? Oh, I don't like this. We're going to another playlist. Animal Crossing. No, no Verbo. Fuck you, Verbo. We don't like Verbo. 1 second. No Verbo. Only Animal Crossing. There we go. There we go. You get the rain ambience, even though it's absolutely gorgeous outside. It's like a vacation thing. It's like they know that I'm like this late 20s guy who desperately wants a vacation and can't have more than like a day or two off without paying for it. Help. I would have to make a lot of compromises, which Fomo might prevent me from doing. Haha. But we'll get there. Okay. So yeah, I do think a lot of it comes from social anxiety specifically, and I do think there is I do think there's definitely like a certain, how do I put this? I think, and this isn't really FOMO related, but it's a topic I've been wanting to talk to for a long time. I think there is like this sentiment of people afraid to be confident because they're afraid confidence comes off as arrogance, and they're afraid to appear confident for two reasons. One is because they hate arrogance themselves. They don't want to be arrogant. And two, because they don't want people to think that they are arrogant. So what they do is that they go to the opposite logical extreme, which is being incredibly self-degrading. Because at their core, they feel like that's where they are. You know, they're low confidence. So it's like the confidence to be confident. The other thing is people are afraid of being confident because they don't want to be wrong. They're afraid of being, you know, stepping up too high and being pushed down. Have confidence. No confidence. And I'm saying this because, hi Ditch, I'm saying this because that's me. It's me. I'm in this picture. You know? I definitely understand that. I understand that sentiment very, very much. So, what do we do with that? I think it's a matter of just knowing what your confidence is. And, again, I want to watch this video so bad on stream, but I don't know if I can. There's a Dr. K video that's so good. It's a Dr. K video called How to Not Be a Doormat. And Dr. K does like mini lectures. They're like 20 minutes long. That one is the one that hit me personally the hardest. And it's such a good concept. I'm moving my assets around so they're not... There we go. Now they're a bit more in touch. So basically, he says how to not be a doormat, how not to like let yourself be walked upon, is just let people have the choice to do things on their own. Once they do that, you'll be in a better spot. Is that it? That's it. That's the video. How to not be a doormat. I'm going to keep this here in case we can watch it on stream. So let me look it up. Can you watch stream VODs on stream? Twitch. I don't know. We'll figure it out later. I would love to watch that with you guys and like give commentary on it because I feel like that would be transformative enough. That is React Dandy after all. There's like no copyrighted audio, it's just him talking. You know? So anyway, we'll get to that point. I think that's a great point, Ty. That's a whole other stream topic. Confidence. Now, I think if we do that one, that's going to be really hard for me to do just because I know that I have some semblance of confidence, otherwise I wouldn't be doing this stream. But a lot of the stream just comes from my openness and willingness to talk about. That is interesting, Gygus. I feel like I'm actually a bit more confident online than I am in person. I'm like the opposite. Which to me is a bit odd. But, we're just different people. That's fine. Alright. Does anyone else have something they'd like to share while we're on this slide? Remember, there's going to be another opportunity at the end. These have been great. These have been great. All right, let's see what else we got here. Okay. So I haven't heard anything, so we're just going to... I'll give it a couple more seconds, and then we'll move to the next one. All right, let's go. Whoops. Here's the question a lot of you have been probably thinking about. How do we deal with it? The first question is, how can a person prevent FOMO? I don't think you can prevent it is the problem. And I don't think you can prevent it simply because it's a natural feeling we have, right? I need to move my guy over. Let me adjust these covers on you, shall we? There we go. So let me just slide on over a little bit, shall we? Okay. So, question. How do we prevent it? You can't. What can someone do to handle their own FOMO? Well, that we can do. So, fun fact, a study do suggest, and I didn't cite anything because there's multiple studies that said this. Studies suggest that limiting social media use significantly reduces measurable traits of FOMO. Funny. Cut yourself off from something that makes you see everybody and what they're doing all the time, and you won't be missing out. Out of sight, out of mind, just like it was years ago, right? Camera, can you please turn back on? Thank you. There we go. No mo FOMO. FOMO to avoid FOMO. I don't know if it's that, Shadow. It's more like... Just, I pretend not to see it. And you won't have it nearly as bad. Yeah, leave internet. It's honestly that simple. No. Only a FOMO can defeat another FOMO. Only a ghoul can kill a ghoul in this anime. Now, here's the thing. If you leave the internet for like a day, a couple hours, a week or so, come back, as long as you're communicative and say like, hey guys, I need a break from the internet, and your friends are like, cool, you'll keep those friends. You will keep those friends. If they're not really your friends, they're like, oh, well, Shadow didn't hang out with us that one time because she was with her family. She was hanging out with IRL friends or whatever. Family sounds likely for you. So I know you gotta take care of your little siblings. Or if, Ark has work, things like that. William's gonna go play with his real life friends. William's gonna go play with his duo streamer Reno Ranchero. We're allowed to do those things, right? And if we lose friends over doing the things we're allowed to do, are they really friends? That's a really shitty thing to look at, but, like, my logic is, like, if someone's like, oh, I can't be friends with Ark anymore because he didn't hang out with us that one time, that makes me think, like, well, why the fuck couldn't I hang out with, like, I wasn't allowed to miss one time with you? And you already moved on from me? What the fuck? Like, that's not cool. Or, like, like, oh, I'm gonna go hang out with my boyfriend tonight. It's like, oh, you're not friends anymore? What the? No one actually is gonna... No real friend is gonna say, like, you shouldn't do this. And sometimes my logic is, like, for things like that... Like, one of my best friends I used to live with, I'd, like, be like, hey, do you want to play games tonight? He'd be like, no, my girlfriend's coming over. I'd be like, okay, cool. He's going to hang out with her. I'm not losing him as a friend because he's spending time with a girlfriend. I'm not missing out anything because there is nothing for me to miss out on in that instance. I cannot offer him the same thing a girlfriend can. Only I can offer myself. And you have to have there's got to be a level of confidence to accept that. So that's me going off on a rant. Any questions? Hey man, they saw me today and they're like, hey man, I haven't seen you in months. You're looking real good. And I was like, oh yeah, let me just fluff up my hair a little bit. I have the confidence to give my friend what only their girlfriend can. Be careful what you wish for. Oh dear. No, that makes a good sense, and sometimes we need to hear that stuff to reassure ourselves. Yeah. And the thing is, you gotta believe it, too. You can't just, like, tell yourself that and just be like, later be like, oh, I didn't believe that. I was bullshitting. You can't bullshit yourself. You gotta keep it real with yourself and your friends. And, like, that's really hard to do. Because it's, like, basically being in touch with your insecurities. A weird situation that was the reverse. Guy, you have some interesting situations, man. I'm all for it. I'm all for those interesting situations. Okay. So because FOMO is rooted in anxiety, then in theory, anxiety-reducing techniques, specifically mindfulness, could help with that. So the reason I listed mindfulness is because anxiety is rooted in fear of something in the future. Mindfulness forces you out of that and centers you right in the present, like Naruto meditating to learn Sage Mode over here. So mindfulness can just be as simple as 10 minutes, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, focusing yourself in there. Boyfriend was slowly trying to cut our friend out of the friend circle due to fear that we were making fun of him when he... God damn, that is insecure. Holy shit, is that insecure. Oh. Yeah, that I could, dangerous behavior. Yeah, dangerous, manipulative. Both of you guys are, yeah, that's a yikes for me, dog. That's like a... See, you know how you solve that? I'll tell you how you solve that right now. You literally grab your guts, grab whatever sexual reproductive organ you'd like, because I'm not going to say grab your balls, and you just say, I'm going to come out with it. And you say, guys, I feel like I'm being made fun of when I'm not here, and I want to let you guys know that so we can talk about it. If you can do that, if this friend... or this boyfriend character can do that, that looks so respectful, because it's like, I'm taking ownership of my feelings. I know this is crazy. It's going to sound crazy. Guys, I want to deal with this. And if your group of friends is good, which I guess I'm sure your group of friends is good, then they'll be like, oh wow, that's really interesting you feel that way. Let's sort this out. We don't want that. No, it just basically means, like, just hoist yourself up, get out there, say them things. Excuse me. That was a coffee burp. And that goes right into communicate feelings and boundaries. Oh, so there you go. So, Mac, that fit perfectly with what Ty just said. What flavor coffee burp? Generic coffee. My mom didn't put enough creamer. Because she was very nice and handed me the coffee herself. Oh. And I have to have I can't wait to have my leftover soup. And she's very, very... They were very sweet. They even prepared me vegetarian sausage and everything because they know I don't eat meat anymore. I will always be grateful that they go out of their way to buy that for me whenever I visit once a week. To answer the how to help others with their FOMO, I guess just constantly provide that reassurance. You know, and that's going to get annoying. Now, here's the thing. I know there's people who might actually say, like, hey, man, we can't constantly provide that reassurance. But you gotta be open and honest. Be like, hey, man, there's only so much we can do to support you. We want you to know that you're always welcome with us. Even if you can't be there, you're going to be welcome with us. And if there's a problem, we can talk about it. And be like, at some point, that's all you can do. Because at that point, it's at the other person's to deal with the FOMO themselves. You know? And I struggle with that. I have a huge problem with that personally. Because I know when I'm anxious, I tend to be passive-aggressive, and I'm really not proud of that. And I'm trying to take accountability for the times I slip up and do that, and I'm trying to do that less. So I'm trying. It's been really hard, not gonna lie. That's gonna be my moment of vulnerability to say, I know that when I'm anxious, when I experience FOMO, I can be a little passive-aggressive, I can make some remarks that I really don't mean, and they can come off really snarky, and I'm just not proud of that, and it's a habit I'm trying to kick because I know it's like nothing that anybody did. Like, none of it's like anyone else's fault but my own for feeling the way that I do. It's just how it is. And you just gotta, me, like anybody else, has to take responsibility for it. So that's why this topic is really important to me as well, because I know this is a big deal for me, and I know it's a big deal for a lot of people. Haven't talked to that friend since... Oh, jeez. You chased him down the street. I like that. I like that, dude. guys like, yo, fuck your shit. I'm done. That's such a good image. Okay. Anything on this one? Anything on this one? Okay, let's keep going. So there were two questions that were examples, and really, I was really happy with these. So let me take a quick swig of water. I drank enough alcohol last night as it is. So this question was, what to do when you're scared of bothering people? Relevant. But you have a fear of missing out hanging out with a group. Amazing question. I know. I actually have a really good idea of who asked what. Wait, that was you. That was okay. If it was you, Pearl, then I actually got this one wrong. If that was actually Pearl, then I predicted incorrectly. But wow, there's so many people in chat, including me, that relate to this. Very brave of you to admit that. So let's talk about this one. This one's really good. So what I wrote for this one at 3 o'clock in the morning on Friday night was, the fear of bothering people is what inhibits you from interacting with others. So it wouldn't be studying and work. Things that may be a little bit less controllable. It's just that you're like, I really don't want to bother you. Like, I don't want to come off as annoying. I don't want to come off as clingy. That's the big one. I don't want to come off as clingy or pining. And that's a fear I think a lot of us have. It's a fear of, like, what boundary do we want to overstep? Or what boundary are we afraid of overstepping? Which in some sense is good, because we don't want to overstep a boundary and seem awkward or seem pushy. So anxiety is a defense mechanism at its core. So it's valid. So the concern here would be address your confidence in your friend group and what your social anxiety is. So to that, I asked you the same question I asked before. Do you want to hang out with people who you think you bother them just by being around? I'll let you guys think about that for a minute. Now that's if, do you act like do these people actually think you're bothering them? If they don't, then it's fine, right? But if they do, it's like, oh wow, this person's really is bothering me. Ark's really bothering me because he keeps trying to hang out with us, and I don't want him around. But that's on them to set those boundaries. So think about that for a minute. I'm going to give my throat a little bit of a rest. Great stream, guys. You guys are on top of this shit. Proud of my community. I think they think I'm bothering them. Yes. So you're yeah, I get that. But I'm saying like that we don't know that as a fact. We are going off the presumption that they think that I'm bothering them. That's not a fact. So my logic is you can challenge that with the idea of, do I want to be friends? Like, you can be disappointed if you don't get to hang out with somebody because you think that you're bothering them. By the way, 9 times out of 10, I'm like, please bother me, because it shows that you like me enough to ask me. And the truth of the matter is, I'm scared. I'm too shy, too anxious to ask myself to hang out. That's me. So we have that, but if you can like continuously ask yourself, do I really want to be around people who actually think I'm a bother? Go where you're wanted, not where you're tolerated. But I feel like everyone in this chat, including myself, is very much a case of, well, if you're shy and I'm shy, then who's driving the car? You know, I feel like that's this community in a nutshell. Which I think is actually not a bad thing, because if then who was flickering the lights? So if we were all like, if someone of us was like, you know, Mr. Chad, bust down the doors, you know, and stuff like that, then, you know, they'd be like, oh, just talk to them, forehead. And it's like, it doesn't work like that. It really doesn't. So yeah, so let this one sit for a little bit longer, and we'll move on to, I think the next slide is a meme, and the slide after that is the fun one. The one I'm excited to address. Alright, so let that sit for a little bit. Alright. I let it sit. Yo, Pearl, I definitely do that. I totally do that. Or I'll be like, send and close tab, and I'm gonna walk away from the computer. Oh man, oh, look at that Chad. Guy gets with the Chad arms. Yo, that's I'm gonna imitate something. You guys tell me if this is you, where I'm just like, DM Pearl Otter. And send and close Discord tab and walk away from the computer. Okay. Oh. And then I get like an apple, I get a glass of water, and I come back, and she hasn't responded, and I'm just like, oh shit, oh fuck, Shadow at Noon, No Thoughts Head Empty playlist, don't look at Discord. And then eventually you get that like that one thing that has like the little, then that little one pops up, and you're just like, ah! I'm in this impression, I don't like it. No, dude, that's what, the reason I'm not impressing, this is literally what I do if I'm not fully comfortable. Exactly. Bro, before I knew it, pretty much everyone in chat, that was me. That was definitely me. That was me first getting to know Lily, like, back in last May/June. I was like, just like run. That was me. That was me to Mac when I was first talking to Mac about what was allowed and not allowed in the server. Yep. Yep. Exactly. Oh god, no response. That's me. I'm afraid of bothering my rig papa. Yeah, I know, Mech. Now I know you're like super easy to talk to. I think everyone here would be easy to talk to. So. Well, now we're just talking about general social anxiety, which is really interesting because I think that's where this comes from. So. I'm willing to bet, though. Ready? I'm willing to bet you that the people that seem really, really outgoing, the people that actually seem the most outgoing and, like, you know, Chad, I'm willing to bet you they experience FOMO twice as bad as we do. And I say that because they overcompensate by talking to it. Yes, hi, Lofi, welcome. I'm willing to bet the people that, like, I bet they're overcompensating. And I know this because I've seen some people vent/vague posts that I didn't expect to, and they matched my predictions about them perfectly. Or I've gotten to know people like that seem very outgoing, very talkative. Vague post, Pearl, is when I say, like, God, aren't all men the worst? But I'm just talking about one guy. Or if I say, like, you know, you really shouldn't be rude to content creators because it makes them really upset. Yeah, that's generally true. I'm being vague, but in reality, someone was mean to me, and I'm vague posting because I didn't want to directly call them out. It's just very passive aggressive, and it really doesn't accomplish anything, and it comes off as fishing for attention. That's what vague posting is, or subtweeting, as we were memeing last night about. Why subtweet when you can just dom tweet and be like, "Ooh, hello, that's a follow sound." Komoto, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome to the Purple Party. Exactly. Why subtweet when you can dom tweet? Just T-pose all over your problems and put them all out there. Just get up, T-pose, and be like, "Hey man, this is the issue and I need to address it." Simple as that, baby. Oh yeah, we were just fucking around. Okay. Next slide. Here's some jealous anime characters. Oops. Can I move it here? There we go. There we go. So the reason I have Hop here is because he's jealous of his older brother. His older brother gets all the attention that he wants. He feels like I'm missing out because I'm not in the Pokemon League with my older brother. So he constantly makes comparisons and be like, what am I missing out by not being part of the Pokemon League? Hop is a character that, like, seems really poorly developed, but if you look closely into his story, he's actually a very well-developed character. I think they actually did, like, a lot of people sleep on how good his character development actually is throughout the story, and I will not say any more due to spoilers. Yeah, I was a hater too. I was like, look at this HAL clone. It's literally the same animation put on a bigger system. So I don't know what I think this is from the Bakemonogatari movie. I haven't seen yet, but I thought this was funny. Where he's like, if my friends are having fun, I'd feel jealous, and if they were happy, I'd feel envious. So if his friends are out having fun without him, he'd be jealous because he's like, well, I'm not having fun. I'm missing out. There's the FOMO jealousy thing. So Hanekawa calls him petty, and it's like, well, it's not petty. I don't actually think that he's petty here. Like, I actually kind of relate to the guy here, despite some of his other questionable decisions he makes in the show. But anyway, that's not important. Okay. Now I'm going to take a bit of a pause because this next slide is the Grand Slam. How we doing? Let me get some feels in the chat. How we doing? I'll give it a minute. I like it. Those are all really cute emotes, Pearl. Okay. Ready? I'll let you guys read this slide real quick. Oh, shit. Okay, there we go. I'll let you guys read this slide. And then I'll read it myself. I read this question and I was just like, ooh! That was a gut punch. This one is we talked a lot about this one already, but I think we can explore it even further. So, I'll give it a couple more seconds, and then I'll read it, and then we'll talk about it. We good? Okay. The question was, can FOMO cause you to be jealous of your friends? Yes. Absolutely. How can someone stop those feelings? You can't really stop them. I don't think you can. So the reason I was really proud of this slide because I thought it was funny to put I'm in this photo and I don't like it because yeah, this is me. This is probably one of my biggest character flaws ever. Is right here. This is the Grand Slam. This is such a good question. This is such a good question. And it's a good question for like because this applies to pretty much everybody in all facets of life right now. So, the first part of the question is yes, FOMO causes you to be jealous of your friends. How do you stop the feelings? You can't. But we have talked about how we can reduce it. So you guys tell me, what do you think of this? Does this apply to you? And then once I see a little bit more discussion going and we got the ball rolling, I'll give you some examples. Just give it a little bit. Let that sit. Yeah, intensity is like how anxious, how jealous you feel. Because, like, you can't stop feelings, right? You can't really just, like, unless you go full, like, Zen. I forgot the word for it. Zen stoicism. Then you can't really stop your feelings. I don't really think that's human. So let me go into general. So there's a very common misconception that I don't like being angry. I don't like being sad. Like, I want to get rid of all feelings and sadness and anger. If you do that, you're not a human being anymore. If you get rid of negative feelings and only experience happy ones, you're not human anymore. Which is just something that, we gotta live with. Jealousy is a human feeling. It's a very intense one. It's a very scary one. Because jealousy is you trying to balance what you want with what your friends want. For what people expect from their own experiences, not in the way others would. Yeah. So let me think of some good examples here. Okay. So if I have FOMO, I feel like I missed. So let me think of a good example. I'll do one as a content creator because that's why we're here. You see that? Okay, Lofi, that's honestly perfect. Lofi, that's perfect. So let's say, and Lofi, is it okay if I use you as an example? And I'll be the person who's jealous here. Okay. So Twitter followers is a perfect fucking example. Because, man, have I been there, and I'm sure a good chunk of you have. So let's say, hypothetically, Lofi and I are both artists. We're both friends. Lofi has double my Twitter followers. And let's say he gets some follows from some pretty prominent artists. Let's say, for sake of example, let's say Ina follows him. Ina from Hololive EN follows him. Let's say other famous artists like Ueko, Mufi, other big artists start following Lofi. And I'm an artist, and I'm just like, well, damn. What am I missing out on? Like, I'm missing out on potential interactions. Not just interactions, but just like... Not just like the follower thing, because I think if we get into like the whole numbers thing and like this celebrity follows me, or like the pseudo-celebrity follows me, we're kind of missing the point a little bit. But it's like, I have this fear of missing out on these interactions because I am not Lofi in this situation. I'm potentially missing out on interactions. I'm potentially missing out on friendship and stuff. So I might start to feel jealous. Like, Lofi has these followers, has a certain number of followers, has specific followers that follow him, and I don't. So, like, that makes me jealous of him because it's like, I want to be him, and because he has what I don't, I feel like there's a little bit of resentment towards him in that sense. So what do you do in that situation? Well, you need to be real with yourself and be like, I am jealous of Lofi. I am jealous. I wish that I had those people follow me. I wish I had the skills Lofi had to get me to that level. I wish I had the charisma to put myself out there like he does. Again, for sake of the example. And then you need to be real and just be like, what are my expectations here? What's realistic to accomplish? What is going to benefit me? Where I'm at? So hypothetically speaking, if I'm in the same boat and I'm at 7M's, and I am jealous of 7M, 7M gets all this attention for his assets and stuff, and be like, wow, he's got Calliope and Fruit paying attention to him. I'm jealous. I'm missing out on interactions with something because I'm watching him do it, and I have this fear of missing out. I'm missing out on like this big VTuber culture that he's got going on that I don't. So then I ask myself, what am I really missing out on? Do I need that? What am I really missing out on? You know what I'm saying? Now, this is going to vary by a case-to-case basis, which is why I would love to use FOMO and jealousy as like a mental health magic topic. Those will resume after, at least after I get my model, not necessarily after debut, but once I get the model, then yes. So, excuse me. Does this make... I know I went really, really fast through that. Is this making sense, guys? Any questions we have about that? Love to hear them. This is an Ask Me Anything stream. Love to hear them. I'll take literally what I can get. Now let's see what we got. Makes a lot of sense. Okay. 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 Good. It's working out. One of my things is that my main friend group at home has a ton of them are either engaged or married. I've never been in a relationship, so I sometimes get asked how it feels to be the only... Gygus, my first question is, who the hell is asking you that? Because that's kind of... My perspective is that's not a very respectful question to ask. That's my gut feeling. But if it doesn't bother you, then it's like, that you know what you value. It's like, okay, my friends are getting married and in relationships, and you're just like, okay, but I'm not about that. Sure, am I missing out on that? Sure, but that's not what I'm about. Now, the application part is something I'd have to do for myself. What do you mean by that, Pearl? Can you tell us what that means? How the application applies to you? New to the group. Okay. Okay, that makes sense then. They don't really know what the boundary is. Understandable. Okay. So we'll wait for Pearl to respond because she gave a very good question. We have to work on taking myself into introspection to recognize... No, that's fine. To recognize what is the thing that's giving me the fear and what is important in the moment. No. That made perfect sense. Let me validate you by saying, me too, dude. And based on what chat was saying, I think everybody could use that. Everyone could benefit from introspection. Like, that's what's so cool about this. We all can benefit from the same thing here. And plus, I just really love talking about this stuff because it feels good, man. It feels good to just get that shit off your chest, you know? You just be like, oh. Like, hold on. Alright. Okay. So, I'm going to turn down the music a little bit. So I'm going to give you guys a practice of what my ASMR voice would sound like because I need to keep my voice down. Can everyone hear me if I talk at this volume with this voice? You can. Okay. Do we sound okay? Audio's good. Okay. So... Something that, as many of you know, my roommate has had a girlfriend for a while. And I had a lot of resentment towards him and her because she just kind of moved in without them telling me. And I felt like I was paying for an apartment for 3 people, but only splitting it 2 ways. You know, they take up the fridge, they take up space. They're really trying not to, but that's just how it feels. So a couple of weeks ago, I just finally just let it all out in a way that I thought was appropriate, using a lot of I feel statements and just explaining that I feel disrespected, I feel angry, I feel like I wasn't talked to. And I didn't get quite the answer I wanted because there was no apology or accountability, but there was at the very least recognition that this is how I felt and it made sense. And that's okay because just getting that off my chest felt incredible. I felt so much lighter mentally after I explained that. So let me tell you all. Maybe we'll have a nice group chat about how to get to that point before it's too late. Because I definitely held it in way longer than I needed to be fair. So what we're going to do is maybe sometime soon we'll have a chat about how to get things off your chest and efficiently. So that way we don't need to worry about it. Okay, ASMR over. Here we go. We'll turn the background music up a little bit. What do we think? ASMR trial run complete. Word documents are posted in my private Discord about how I feel them picking apart while talking to myself. Yeah, so I do that when I drive or when I go for a walk. Going for a walk or a drive to get my feelings out has been really, really helpful to me. Or just like talking to a friend like, hey, here's how I feel. Can I just bounce some ideas off of you? So like the jealousy and the FOMO thing here is definitely applying. So, it's just like, kind of like being your own therapist is what you do. And then, you know, if it comes down to it, if it's like really a problem and you feel like it's going to impact your relationship, then talk about it. Be like, hey man, I have this fear of missing out that comes from me, and I have jealousy towards you because this is how I feel. And I just wanted to let you know so I could get it off my chest, and I want to take responsibility for that feeling. Now, if it's not necessary to do that and you don't think it would help, then I wouldn't recommend it. But if you do think it would feel good to do, then yeah. Okay. So that's the Grand Slam question. I'm sure a lot of us could relate to this at some point. Does anybody have any questions or comments you want to make about this one? Well, oh, thank you, Lofi, for the Prime Gaming. Much appreciated. Now you can pog. Thank you, Lofi. Really appreciated it. Look at these little pog champs. No questions, only subs. Where are the doms? Where's my Prime dom instead of Prime sub? Don't answer that. I actually don't want to know. Okay. Now then. I think this might be the last slide for a bit, so let's see what we got. All I know are subs. Oh man. Well, you're in VTuber, and there's a lot of subs in the VTuber community. You know what to do. Now, this is the part where we discuss openly. Okay, so I need to refill my water one more time and join the piss gang. So I will be back in just a minute. So If you guys just want to vibe with the music on for a little bit, that's great. If you guys want to think of something to type, now is a great time to do it. Because this is our very open-ended discussion. So I will see you in just a little bit. Okay, dude. I see how it is, Mr. Geigus. But thank you for the 100 biddies. Thank you for the biddies. That is appreciated. So really? Y'all got nothing? Huh. Huh. Funny. Funny. Okay. All right. So, I think to be safe, we don't want to watch that video to... What are we thinking about? Literally anything related to Fomo. Literally anything... Whoop. Sorry. My neck broke. There we go. We don't need... we can't watch it just to be safe. I'm not comfortable watching it on stream. So, we won't do that. Too busy really thinking about what you're missing out on. Besides your desire to play video games. Fair, fair, fair. Fair, fair, fair. It is a tough one to break into. So let me see if I can break the ice. Give me a second to think. I think I can think of some ones. I guess a big one for me, and this hasn't, I don't think this has directly come up recently, but like, one thing that doesn't feel good is when there's two, 3, 4, whoever people in front of you, and they make some inside joke. And you're just like, I don't get it. And then they say, oh, it's an inside joke. And that just triggers FOMO, like, so bad. Because it's like, man, I wish I was there to experience why that was so funny. Give a bottle of water, dog to sleep. Oop, yep, fair. So I guess to answer a question that was on the Curious Cat earlier, is that a way to deal with that with FOMO, like if like your friend is FOMO, is like, I don't want to say bring up don't bring up inside jokes in front of them, because it's just like sometimes it's just going to happen organically, so it's not like fair to assume, like fair to just like not bring it up in front of them. Like that doesn't make any sense. But I guess what you could do instead is just like what's fair, you know? You get that inside joke one real bad. Yeah, that's a common one. If you have to bring up an inside joke, it's okay to explain it. Yeah, sure. But just like, I think it's important to acknowledge like what it is. Like if William's up at 6 a.m. with a 7M digital, and then the next day they make something, and I'm just like, oh, when did that happen? They're like, oh, we were talking about last night when you were asleep. It's like they're allowed to do that. They're allowed to stay up until 6 in the morning. Yeah, I'm calling you out, because I know you can handle it. They're allowed to make jokes with each other without me. People are allowed to do things without you. Right? People are allowed to do things without you. And it sucks because like you want to be with your friends all the time, but sometimes you can't. Sometimes you need sleep. Sometimes you need to go to work. For example, I miss a lot of Vivi's streams because she streams at times I'm either just waking up or I'm at work. Like 90% of the time, that's already happening. And, you know, it's like, sure, I'll have FOMO of missing out whatever's on her stream, but at the end of the day, it's like, there's literally no control over that. Because time zones, I have an obligation of work. I'm sure she knows I would be there if I didn't have an obligation. And, you know, stuff like that. I think it's okay to ask about those sorts of jokes too. I mean, sure, yeah, no, it's fine. I think the mindset that I personally want to get to is just to be like, oh, look at that funny joke. Isn't it great that they said such a funny joke? And just like, you know, just be like, I wasn't there, that's okay. You know, because you can't always be there. You can't be at every stream. You can't be at, you can't stay up all night with people who can't afford to stay up all night. You can't, you know, like, does this make sense? It's just impossible to stay on top of everything. Interesting balance. At home, I'm the only one that doesn't work at the same place. And I'm the only one that doesn't play the MMO the others do. Yep. It'd be really isolating outside. But at the same time, I can't really say, you guys got to cut me in on this comment. Yeah, exactly. It's just not realistic to expect that. Or is it fair to other people to expect that? Here's the interesting thing. So I want to talk to you guys about that Dr. K video. I'll link it again. And I'm honestly probably going to watch it on stream. So the title is not quite related to this conversation, but it applies. So basically, the video, and I'm going to take a swig of water. There we go. The video is called How to Not Be a Doormat. And it's basically like, how do you just like why do people just run over you? So what happens is, you want to stay friends with somebody. You want to stay connected. Yeah, I wish I could watch it, Ditch, but to be safe, it's against TOS. I'm not comfortable. But I don't know if it's copyrighted or not. Like, you know, I'm just being safe. I would love to watch it on stream. So, basically his principle is, people become doormats because they want to do whatever they can to stay connected to somebody. Like, I'll do this for you, I'll do that for you. And then, they become a yes man a little bit. So the solution is how to not be a doormat, but don't be afraid to let people choose. And at first it's like, how do you like let go of people? And it's like how do you like stop being a doormat and just like let go of those connections like that are unhealthy for you? The answer is like, don't be afraid to like let people choose. Which like for me, how that applies to me is, Ark, don't be so passive aggressive when people are hanging out without you, because there's like literally like you're doing what you can, right? So for me, you know, that's what I would do, and be like, allow people to do what they can, because they can. You know, at the end of the day, I realize that people are allowed to hang out without me. People are allowed to, you know, make whatever content without me. People are allowed to do whatever. Like, if I'm streaming, then I'm putting my priority on the stream. And if people hang out while my stream is up together, then that's on them. You know, it's a choice I made. So it's like, if you let people make choices by themselves, then you free yourself to make choices for yourself. You know, just let people do what they're going to do. And the people who like you are going to stay anyway. That's the message of Dr. K's video. I think he gets there about halfway through. But yeah, it's a 10-minute video. It's a very, very, very good watch. If you guys aren't familiar with Dr. K, he's goals. It's my goals to be VTuber Dr. K. And hopefully by debut, I'll have a nice little setup with some nice Cake Catboy and 7M assets, free to use assets that'll just set a nice scene for everyone to chill in. I'm really excited to get there. So that's where we're at with that today. Does anyone have anything else? Like anything at all? Because if not, we'll probably just end stream and a little earlier than I was anticipating. Nothing wrong with that. Means I can eat my soup. But yeah, I'll just open it up for a little bit. You guys are, first of all, you guys are here. This conversation has been enlightening for me. Well, thank you, Ty. I'm glad you think so. And really, like, these streams are doing really well, so like, I'm just really glad that you guys are here, and that hopefully there's some. You'd like to talk about how not to be a doormat, but only if I'm okay with it. Yeah, look, whatever you want. I think that's a really good topic. That's actually, I think it's related to this, but not directly, and that's fine. You know, this is a ask anything you want stream, mental health related. So I'll field that question. Yeah, let me sip, because I didn't drink any water with my coffee this morning, which is a bit of a problem, so I need to make up for it now. Oh! Thank you, Did. 6 months. I can't believe I've been streaming for over 6 months now. That's crazy. Thank you, Lope. Yeah, I'm trying to do them more often. I'm going to try to do them twice a month from here on out. Because first of all, you guys really like them. I get a lot of positive feedback on them. I feel really good doing them. It helps me process my own insecurities. It helps you guys talk about them. And, like, you know, it's basically just level the playing field. Because at the end of the day, like, we're all, you know, content creators or not, we all have these thoughts. And that's okay. So we're just going to talk about them. That's all. So I really, really appreciate that. Everyone, Ditch for the subscription, everyone for your kind comments, for whatever input you have, for whatever questions were asked. First one you've had the opportunity to watch, it's been wonderful. Thank you so much, Pearl. That means a lot. For real. So, I have VODs. I still have to put Bun Bun's VOD up on YouTube. Oh, I'm actually blushing right now. No, yeah. It's something I have a lot of confidence and experience in, and it's a good way for me to tie what I do for a living with the community, but do it in a way that's accessible. Cause like yeah. Guy, guess that's exactly what I look like. I look like Lilo Scuff Bloosh. I just, like, this is a good way for us to all just do it. And even if, content creator or not, it's something I think we need to experience. And at some point, I would like to have Mental Health Magic interviews ready once again by April. That's my goal. So 1 month. What I'm hoping will happen is we will, even before debut, fuck waiting to debut. I'll just do it, okay? Give me my model, give me my assets, we'll just do it, debut or not. Because I want to. That's my logic. Because there's two things, those are out of my control. I just want to make content. And I want us to have those conversations sooner rather than later. So, okay. Well, if there's nothing else. No mo FOMO. This is my way of saying thank you. Look, everybody that we talked about in the stream is happy. Every example I gave is happy. Squidward's happy. Elwood's happy. Ananagi-kun is happy. Haneko is happy. God, this is such a wholesome moment in this anime, by the way. Hop is happy. Look, we did it. There it is, dude. Okay. So if there's any wide peepo happy. Okay, cool. Even Squidward is happy. We did it. Okay, so let's open up Twitch. Let's see if we can find some raid targets. Okay, my site's already muted. Somebody comfy. Oh, man. Oh, I see somebody streaming we have not raided. They got a big stream going on. Alright, let me see. They've been going for 3 hours. 3.5 hours. Alright. Let me lurk their stream for a little bit. Let me lurk the stream to make sure they're not. You guys can probably take a guess. And it's relevant because I found out this person plays with shiny cardboard. Look, you know what? I don't care if they're ending soon. We're just gonna go for it. We're gonna raid Yami. We're going in. We're raiding Yami. He's comfy. There we go. Yeah, I haven't really caught too much of fit. Wow, there's a lot of you. This is gonna be great. Yeah, thank you guys so much. We're gonna stream more Pokemon tomorrow. We're gonna probably finish our gym leader portion of Nuzlocke tomorrow. And we'll go from there. I'll figure out what we're doing very soon. Hams or headset holding Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Dude, that's me. Okay. So that's it. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Hopefully you have a good rest of your day / evening. And we'll see you then. Thank you guys very much. Really, really appreciate you. This has been great. We'll brainstorm. Next stream, we'll brainstorm what we're going to do next. Okay. Bye-bye.
What? Oh my god. Oh, I guess startled. Okay. Oh, hello, the Arkhand. Hello. Comfy raid. Wow, comfy raid. Welcome, raiders. The Arkhand, the Lombard, Mac and Cheesehead, Arcturus, Babu, Sir William. You guys in battle? Hellcat. Welcome, raiders. So nice to meet you. Thank you for the follow. Mac and Cheesehead. Last ditch welcome. Hello, my name is Yami. And I'm a preschool teacher come VTuber. I do comfy, wholesome healing streams pretty much. Thank you so much. Wow. Arkhand. Hello, Sir William. Nice to see you here. Wow, welcome everyone. Playing some Animal Crossing and I'm turning into like sleepy mode, so I'm just rambling. It's nice to meet you. The Paralogic, thank you for the follow. Fua Fua. Can I get a Fua Fua? It was great. We talked mental health and FOMO as a topic. Wow, that's awesome. It's lovely. Thank you for the follow, Hellcat. Hello, hello, Babu. Love Sleepy AC. Yes, that's right. Yes, this is very Fua Fua place. In fact, I'm part of a team called Fuatopia. We're all about comfy vibes. Oh, thank you, David Delarca, 5167. Did I say that right? I haven't been streaming for a while, huh? So, well, would you like to plug